Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and today we're going to do something a little bit different because I've been building up a lot of Skaven. I've actually told myself that I'm going to finish painting up my Skaven collection this year and yeah, there's a lot of crying involved. But when we normally talk about Skaven lore, we normally talk about the Big Four. This would be Clan Scryer, known for its inventions, Clan Pestilence, known for its plagues, Clan Eshin, known for its assassins, and finally Clan Naldor, known for its monstrous mutations. In some cases, we will also talk about other warlord clans such as Clan Moors, known for its very strong forces, or Clan Rictus, known for its massive amounts of storm vermin. But there's loads of other really cool Skaven clans out there which are lesser known but also fairly unique. So what I wanted to do in this video is talk about some Skaven clans. Something a little bit different and more lore-centric, but I figured, yeah, this might be a good time to talk about it. We're going to start off with Clan Modkin, a personal favourite of mine and one that I'm currently learning how to green stuff skull helmets for my actual clan rats. So Clan Modkin is actually quite an old clan. They've been around for a long time now and were one of the clans to actually fight directly against Nagash. This was during the whole situation where Nagash was taking their precious warpstone and they were not really happy about that. Now, the Skaven clans, after dealing with Nagash, went about their business and went back to normal, but Clan Modkin had been rather inspired by fighting the hordes of mindless undead. They saw it as a intimidation tactic, something which stays with them to this very day, very much similar as a form of PTSD that just gets passed on from generation and generation. Keep in mind that this is obviously kind of expected because the Skaven were fighting against Nagash for a long time, so fear of the undead and admiration of the undead had been swelling through their ranks. So, what do they do to mimic the undead? They dye their fur bone white, or as close to bone white as possible. They'll also even paint their armor. Not only that, but they will dye the fur of the giant rats and rat ogres within their ranks. They'll even wear the bones of fallen Skaven in an effort to look more skeletal-like. And I think this is pretty grim, especially for a Skaven clan, as we know a lot of the Skaven clans themselves are just pretty grim. You know, this is Skavendom, of course, but just taking it a step further to look as skeletal as possible, clearly Nagash had left a long-lasting influence here. A fun fact about this clan is they were actually fairly active throughout a lot of different events of Skaven kind, taking part during the whole Black Death era, then obviously the Skaven Wars, and for a small amount of time, given, you know, Skaven history, they even held a position on the Council of 13, which I think is pretty cool too. Now we're going to go into some deeper lore and talk about Clan Worms, a rather small clan which was not very trusted as they were very different to other Skaven. This is the thing, even Skaven can go, ooh, no, this one's different. And what made Clan Worms so different to the other Skaven clans was the fact that they really liked bugs, insects, and other types of vermin. Yeah, I know, that sounds a bit weird, but think about it this way. Giant scorpions, any large insectoid creatures, anything that could spread poison like spiders, Clan Worms wanted to harness their talents. Now, originally this clan was actually quite powerful, holding a position on the Council of 13. However, when the Skaven of Clan Pestilence made their re-emergence and, well, you know, we had a little bit of the Skaven Civil War, this council started falling out of favor. Then they decided to join up with Clan Pestilence for a while and would have probably made a very good member of the Pestilent Brotherhood, but decided to sow some discontent within the ranks there too. In a fun Skaven-y twist of fate, Clan Worms was betrayed by Clan Pestilence and yeah, they fell out of favor pretty much by all of Skaven kind, to the point that all the precious monsters that they used to sell, like the giant scorpions, were now less valuable than, say, for example, rat ogres from Clan Naldor, and the worm oil that used to light up Skaven Blight was now replaced by warpstone lanterns from Clan Scryer. It shows that even in Skaven kind, if you betray one too many times, people are going to stop trusting you. But now this clan is pretty much regulated to a minor clan. They don't even have a lot of artwork all over the place, it's just pretty much the banner, and even then that's more of a generic Skaven banner. But yeah, I kind of like the idea of Skaven riding giant scorpions and spiders and stuff, you know? Sounds pretty cool. Now I'm going to talk about another really unique Skaven clan. These are one of my favorites too. If it hasn't been apparent, I played a lot of Skaven on the tabletop. I actually have an incredibly large army that I need to finish. But anyways, this is Clan Scurvy, and it's one of the largest Skaven navies out there, also known as clan fleets. Yes, the Skaven actually have a navy, and a very powerful one at that, because they make use of a lot of the weaponry that we do know, plus a lot of others, but turned into, you know, weapons for ships. You can expect stuff like plague furnaces and stuff being converted into ships, and it's as terrifyingly strong as it sounds. There are a few Skaven clan fleets, but Clan Scurvy is perhaps the most well known, purely because, well, they're very close to Skavenblight as it is, having based themselves under the Tilian city of Tobaro, which means that they're centralized to home, and they're very easy to hire out should they be needed. They've also got a fairly high position within Skavendom, considering that one of their own is a member of the Council of 13. This is Iron Scratch. But not only that, they also lay claim to fame because the offshoot of Clan Scurvy, which still goes by the name of Clan Scurvy as far as I'm aware, is led by Scratch Halfdead, an undead Skaven which was quite famous during the whole Dreadfleet campaign. The reason why they're to be feared is because the Skaven normally have supremacy of the underground. If they also gain supremacy over the waters too, well, that's going to make it quite difficult for trade ships to pass anything essential that needs to go from, say, Estalia to the New World colonies or anything like that. It's going to be very, very dangerous. Not only do you have to deal with big sea monsters, Dark Elf raiders and so on, but now the Skaven too. Clan Ferric is also another minor clan which is actually quite powerful. You see, they had taken over Karak Varn, a dwarf hold which was known for its, well, very, very proficient forgers. The dwarfs in the hold were not killed off and eaten. Also, they weren't really sold off to the highest bidder. Instead, they were enslaved by the Skaven of Clan Ferric. This means that all these dwarven forge masters are now under the employment, let's just say, of the Skaven, where they are making very, very powerful weapons and armor. It's very likely that a lot of dwarf tech is also being repurposed for Clan Ferric too, and we know that their clan rats and storm vermin are very well armored. Hell, some of their weapons even says in the lore that are bright and rust-free. We know that the warriors of Clan Ferric also wear face masks. This is very similar to that of a lot of the dwarfs that you know of, because they wear these masks that protect them, but they're actually just very powerful helmets. It's unknown, but very likely that a lot of Gromril has been used in the forging of these weapons and armor. But this is definitely a clan that, if left unattended to, with loads and loads of dwarf tech like gyrocopters, gyrobombers, and so on, well, they could become a very powerful contender as a major clan if they make use of all that weaponry. We already have some powerful stuff like, the rattling guns and so on, but imagine Skaven flyers dropping a lot more warpstone-based bombs, and hell, imagine just turning the warp fire thrower into another version, a much larger version, very similar to that of the dwarven flame cannon. And finally for this video, we're going to talk about Clan Vulcan. So these are pyromaniac Skaven, which I know what you're going to say, well, a lot of Skaven are obsessed with fire and stuff. It's like, no, not really, they're more obsessed with big booms. These Skaven are specifically obsessed with fire, so much so that they base their whole culture around it. They are based around the area of Fire Mountain, a rather large volcano which is relatively active, and because of being there for so many generations, the volcano has become an aspect of their very way of life. Newborns are branded at birth. The other Skaven, as they get older, will also start to dye their fur red. Yes, Ginger Skaven, but in the color of fire. Their blades are not made of metal, but are rather fashioned with black obsidian. This is a type of glass which is actually quite good at piercing through enemy flesh. And sometimes the obsidian is even incorporated into their armor, which I think is freaking cool. Clan Vulcan is the perfect example on how some Skaven can have their minds twisted and turned or influenced by various different locations, different factors, how they live, all that different type of stuff. And I think it's something which should be explored more when it comes to Skaven kind, because yeah, we get these little bits of information. This mostly was taken from the heraldry book for the Skaven, but it's never really explored that much in lore. Some minor clans are given a little bit more, but some are given less. Just with two examples here before we end the video, we're going to talk about two clans that have very minor lore, and it will show what the potential is here, right? So the first is Clan Crocktail, which is a Skaven clan that lives in the northern Chaos Wastes. This means that they're very susceptible to the warping powers of chaos, and it shows here with their mutations. You can see this clan rat with a barbed tail at the end, the horn on his skull, the bigger teeth, the weird, more Talon-style feet. Something like that shows that the Skaven are very, very unique. Or Clan Skrittlespike, which is a clan that's actually found in Skaven Blight, but really, really deep, dark underground, meaning that they've actually evolved. This is a thing. Well, evolution's always been a thing in Warhammer. There's even some type of aquatic goblins that we know of known as Boglars, but this is the perfect example of Skaven evolution, where their eyes have gotten bigger, their ears have gotten bigger, their vision will be limited there, but they're used to seeing in the dark, probably better more than other Skaven. But this is what makes them very good ambush fighters in tunnel warfare. I don't imagine they'd do very, very well up ground, especially since they're scared of most loud noises, but you see here what I mean. I'd love to see in the future more distinction between all the Skaven clans, especially since Old World is going to be a thing, and we know that we're likely going to see a lot of Skaven stuff there. Well, even in Age of Sigmar, it's mostly the same clans, so it would be kind of cool to get a bit more distinction, a bit more lore. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, or let me know what your favorite Skaven clans are. Some of the more lesser known ones. It'd be cool to discuss, and yeah. And with that all being said, I'll see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.